you learned about?
Yeah, go ahead, Richard.
What have you learned about your team over this last couple of months?
Well, we learned a lot. It's been the whole purpose here is to figure them out, figure you guys out, and it's a relationship that we're building on, that we need to know who we're teaching and how they operate and how they function and all that. So the whole time it's been about information gathering, and you would think it's all on the football field, but it's way more than that. And, we've gone to great depths to try to get to understand our guys, what's important to them, what are their goals and their principles and how they approach stuff, and so that we can better teach them and reach them, so now I wouldn't even know where to start. There's a million things we can do. Sorry.
Noticed a lot today. You seem to mix things up, a lot of first team versus second team and vice versa. What was the method behind doing that?
Today we really played game-like. We started, there was 10 minutes left in the third quarter, and so we played all the way through to the end of the game, and somehow the commissioner got to come down to a tie, which was great, and then we wanted to go into OT, and we went into OT, and a couple exchanges in overtime as well. So we just tried to log as many situations as we could throughout all of our time together. The last time we tried to go to, we had a lightning thing that we had to get off the field on, so we kind of overdid it. We had almost, everybody got a couple shots in OT legitimately as the clock worked, so worked out great.
Pete, energy has been something that's been associated with the team in the last few weeks. I wonder, have you been getting that energy out of this group of players that you hope for? And also, the second part of this question, what kind of attitude are you hoping to instill into this team, the energy that you can bring?
Yeah, well, these guys have really been accepting to a little bit of the craziness that we're all about, how we do it, and we expect them to be on every day. Every time we go out in the field, they're expected to give everything they got. They tap in before they go out. They make a commitment that they're going to be all in, and then the coaches have to make sure we drive the energy. And so, if I'm expecting that, then I got to do that too. And so that's what that's kind of how we operate. And with the thought of we want to maximize the opportunity that we have that's right in front of us every single day, every step we take. And so that may sound like talk to you, but this is how we live. So they have embraced it, and I've been thrilled with the mentality on a regular basis. The coaches really have to set the tone, but we see that we do that until we can step aside for the leaders to take over, and we have strong leadership on this team on both sides of the football, and so it's really important. And the whole idea of the energy thing, or however you want to look at it, is I'm trying to get everything they got, every step they take, and that's a mentality that it's really hard to maintain, and it's hard to get there, acquire it, but it's harder to maintain even. And so there has to be an uncommon consistency in what we're asking of them to get that done, and that's how we're operating. And so as far as we could have gone, we took it. You saw us. We went all the way into overtime and a couple different shots over. We got everything we get out of every moment that we had. And these next 6 weeks are huge. These guys have to come back in great shape. Right? I challenged every one of them to be in the best shape of their life. If they want to make the most of this opportunity, they need to go about it with that thought. And so they've all got plans and how they're going to get that done. We'll see what happens when we return.
You mentioned accepting the craziness, but we saw you wrestling Munford the other day. And
I wasn't wrestling.
And today we see the equipment manager in the bubble rolling around after stretch. What are the stories behind these things?
Yeah, I can't speak for the bubble thing. They were trying to surprise me with that one, I guess. I don't know. I didn't know that was happening. But they're taking part in it, obviously. This is what we're asking these guys to do, to play as well as anybody that plays this game. We're not setting expectations, trying to win a few games and make some progress. That's not what we're doing here. We're trying to take this as far as you can possibly take it and see the only perspective that they have heard from me, and that's the only one I can even imagine. I can't think anyway else. And so that means we have to just continue to maximize all of the moments. And so that means I need to keep their attention, keep their focus, and keep them going, and keep them guessing, and whatever it takes. And I was a little concerned because this is kind of like the last day of school. When kids get a little crazy and they do some crazy things and stuff because they know they're getting out. I was a little concerned about it, so we addressed that, and they brought all their love and energy to this effort that we have. And there's a lot to this, that what they put into it demonstrates how important it is to them and how much they respect their opportunity. And it also, what they put into it allows them to present themselves as the best they can, be a great teammate. And that's, you can't have a great team without great teammates on it. And so there's a whole building process to getting that done, and part of that is taking part in whatever we ask them to do, as wild as it may be, or nuts as they may think it is. And some of it is pretty crazy, but we made it through.
Pete, just from us being able to watch, Michael Mayer seemed like a guy that got a lot of touches over the last, however many practices that we got a chance to see. What are your impressions of the young tight end, Michael Mayer?
I thought Mike had a great offseason with us. There was we started out going heart to heart, and him understanding what we're all about, and he embraced it and took it, as well as anybody could take the challenge of bringing it day in and day out. He had a great camp, and he was doing well before Brock got here, and the two of them just went head to head, just trying to make a play here and there, and going back and forth, and they were just great contributors. It's a terrific position group for us. Don's coming in and really liven it up as well. So we have a very good position group right there, and excited about what they're going to do. But I thought Michael had a great camp.
Coach, when you watch practice, obviously you have a lot of rookies that are either with the first team or the second team. Have you been surprised at all with the production of the rookies so far and how they've developed, or do you think it's right where you expect them to be?
The young guys have done really well. The guys that we chose in the draft have all made a mark at some point and show that they deserve being here. It looks like a really good class all the way through. Both offensive linemen, both defensive linemen, they participated and rolled in with the twos for the most part. Those guys, they held their own. Ashton had an excellent camp, but Dante and Jack, they did their stuff. It's a good-looking group. The idea is to force those guys to play early and make them have to play. And to do that well, you have to ask them to do things they're good at. If you just ask them to try to do everything that a veteran knows, they're going to falter and they're not going to be able to show themselves. But if you do it in a progressive manner that gives them a chance to show, then by the time we get to mid-season, those guys can be regulars for us. And so this is not a new process. This is the way I've done it with rookies and freshmen and the whole thing for a long time. And it just depends on how well you orchestrate what you ask them to do. And if they can find success, then the confidence builds, and then before you know it, you got a regular. And that just helps our depth and helps us stay competitive.
Speaking of asking, Gino Smith throughout camp.
I'm sorry, could you say that again, please?
Go ahead, Jim.
Okay, what did you learn about Gino Smith during camp?
I can't tell you I learned that much, because I know Gino about as well as you can know a player, and I was thrilled how he embraced the leadership opportunity, and he's been around me so much that he knows where we're coming from and can step up at the right time, say the right thing, do the right thing. But Gino's a natural leader. He has developed over the years through all hard knocks and the tough ways that he's come up through it all to be a great competitor. And he knows to be a great competitor, you have to go for every opportunity that you have. And that's what he's done. He's just illustrated to these guys that, okay, if you're a part of our program, this is what's expected. And I couldn't ask for a better partner in bringing the word to our team.
Let's go Q, Zeke, and then Case.
You mentioned asking these guys to do certain things. Jacory and Bennett told us that you're all about the ball. See ball, get ball. How do you instill that into those defensive guys to go
Every day.
Get it?
Every day. And the first thing I said to them in the first football meeting that we had was it's all about the ball. And today I started this last meeting that we had, it's all about the ball. It's about how you emphasize it. And it's not just that you emphasize it, it's how well you can emphasize it in creative manners. It's like if you're a teacher and you went and you give this great lecture and you think everybody should learn what you wanted them to learn. If you don't keep coming back to the same messaging and the same teachings, it's likely that you didn't hit home with everybody. So it's the way that we emphasize it and the way we're consistently coming about it as creatively as we can and whatever it takes to get the message across. Our guys, right from the start, from day one, we had some big lessons about taking care of the football and offense and how they're going to tuck it and lock it and all those things. The guys have just done a really nice job on the other side of the ball in a mode in this off season where you can't be physical. You can't hit guys. You can't tackle anybody. You have to use your imagination. And so that's sighting the football when you're attacking it and showing that you sight it. And so the gestures that you make to show us that you have to punch the football or take a shot at it. All of those things are the things that we value really highly. And so I think we reported today that there was 2,300 times during these last 10 days that we took a shot at the football. And so that's the kind of emphasis that we need. But it never ends. I mean, they never get it. They can stay with you. And so we have a real clear passage to getting that done, and we'll see what happens. It'll really be the key to our season.
Pete, where do you feel like the team made the most progress over the last 3 days?
I think work ethic, really. I think the consistency in our work ethic. We came out of the OTA phase 2 when you can only go so far. You don't do so much. And in phase 3, we get to do a lot more against each other and work against offense versus defense. And so they got to transfer, the phase 1, phase 2 to the final phase into this mini camp. But even with that, there's so much restraint on them. It's really hard to do this right because